the revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.
Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and Our Kings Competitions. We're here with Shawn Porter. Shawn, you always give me some time, and we're here again. It's the big fight week.
Just put it right in my face, didn't you?
Is that what we did? Is that what we did?
Right in my face. Yeah. That's made its way over there, huh? Yeah, no, I'm good. Let's do it. Yeah. You got 8 minutes.
Sorry?
7 minutes now.
7:59.
There it is.
This will be 10 now. Look, huge fight week. It's been called the biggest fight in the past 10 years since obviously Mayweather Pacquiao. I think as this fight's got closer, when it was originally made, a lot of talk about the weight and Terence this, jumping up. As it's got closer, and what normally happens in these fights is people start to let their imagination go. But is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man be a good little man?
It's more than skills paying the bills with this one, man. I think that there's some intangibles with this fight that are internal, the stuff you don't see. And, like, for an example, we can talk about Canelo's chin. Is it that he just really has this chin that's really sturdy? Or is it that he has a chin that's sturdy, but he also has a mentality that I won't go down? You know what I mean? Like, that's when I mean, like, internal intangibles. And I think that both these guys possess a tremendous amount of skill, talent, abilities that, to the naked eye, you aren't really aware of. I did my due diligence on the Porter podcast. I told everyone the weight is not a problem, the size. Stop talking about it. It takes you guys waiting until you see weigh-in day and the day before the weigh-in, and somehow you're now seeing that he's an inch or two taller than Canelo. And somehow now you're considering his reach. And somehow now you're considering, he weighed in at 165. And, he's been hitting the weights like Shawn said. Yeah. The weight's not an issue. The reason why the weight's not an issue is because most welterweights are middleweights that cut down to welterweight. So go ahead, yeah.
Is it fair to say, though, you mentioned that the weight's not a problem, but don't you have to almost acclimatise to the weight? So what I mean is, like, when you get to that weight class, you see, like obviously, Canelo's been taking punches in and around that weight class and higher for many, many years, shared it with world-class athletes. Terence, it looks great. I'm sure he will be big and strong, but getting punched at that weight, is that something that you have to get used to? And he hasn't jumped in for a tune-up before this. He fought Madrimov at 154, who I think, by the way, that gets overlooked. Madrimov is a world-class fighter. Absolutely. He's world-class. And look, that was a touch-and-go fight as well. Yeah. But is that a big part of this, the fact that this is a first, no matter if he does look good on the scales and is strong?
I think I did my first training camp with Manny Pacquiao. I think it was 2010. And my dad had some things to say about the camp, because at the end of the camp, they escorted me out. I'm no longer sparring with Manny. He's 2 weeks away from the fight, and they basically told me, we don't need you anymore. And my dad didn't understand at that point what was going on. The other thing is, Manny did probably the most rounds he had done in sparring was about 8 rounds. And my dad thought that he's fighting Miguel Cotto. My dad thought that he wasn't ready for Miguel because he hadn't done the amount of rounds that my dad thought he should do. And my dad looked at him and said, well, you exited the best sparring partner you had, and you got, respectfully to those guys, you got cream puffs in here now. This guy's going to drop this. He goes out there and he does what he does against Miguel Cotto, right? So I'm in the gym with Freddie Roach, and I said, Freddie, why don't you, why isn't Manny doing 10 rounds? Why isn't Manny doing 12 rounds? Manny's been doing 12 rounds for a very long time. He doesn't have to spar 12 rounds. We know he can do 12 rounds. He knows what it feels like. He knows how to adjust and things like that. He doesn't need to spar for 12 rounds. I said, okay, great. Terence has been out of the ring for 13 months. It doesn't take him getting in the ring once or twice in those 13 months for him to know what a 12-round match feels like. He's been there. He's done that. The other side of that is the weight. When you're talking about it takes the body time to acclimate to that weight. Okay, well then let's talk about those 13 months. How much more time do you need to acclimate to the weight that you already walk around at, that you play basketball with, that you get on race tracks and race world class athletes up on track and field? You know what I mean? Like football, and everything that he does. He's been moving at this weight for a very long time, whether people realize that or not, and the body's acclimated.
Let me ask you, obviously you shared the ring with him, and you probably said this, but I've got to ask you, as the fight is tomorrow, what's the one thing that maybe surprised you about him? Because look, you see all the highlight reels, and whether you share the ring with him inspiring or not, the ring's different. But what was the one thing on the night where you went, Jesus, maybe I didn't expect that? Because he does a lot of things, I think, subtly where people don't see. Yeah. Whether it be just like, obviously we see the footage where it's like, oh, I need to turn the switch now, and he does what he does. But was there anything other than that where but where you can attest to this? Yeah. Apart from that, is there anything that you go, he did that really well, I did not expect it?
Listen, I know I sound like I am a Terence Crawford cheerleader. I'm a big fan of Terence. Of course, I'm rooting for him. Of course, I'm a believer in Terence. So when I say this, I truly do mean this. I hope Canelo Alvarez can remember what he was looking at when he was looking at Floyd Mayweather when they fought. Floyd has this energy, and Floyd has this look, and Floyd doesn't get uncomfortable, and Floyd will make you feel very uncomfortable because he's not uncomfortable, and that's what I saw for the very first time in my life ever. And I'm talking about, I've been in the ring with a lot of people, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't able to make that kid uncomfortable. And it made me uncomfortable. As you can see, it made me very uncomfortable. So I think that that's the number one thing that Canelo hasn't seen in a very long time. He probably saw it against Triple G, but it's different when it's different in some respects, But I think that's the number one thing he's going to be seeing. He hasn't seen someone not be uncomfortable in a very long time.
That's a really good way of putting it. Let me I want to talk to you a little bit about this Jake Paul scenario. I think when I caught up with you last time in Vegas, we discussed the idea of a Jake Paul Anthony Joshua, and everyone was telling me, especially in England, it's bullshit, it never happened. And then it didn't happen, and then we see Gervonta Davis collecting a bag in November in Atlanta. What do you make of this? And this isn't a case of whether you're for it, against it. I think we're in an era now where fighters, it's not all about legacy. They're looking, going, this is what I call fuck you money. That's forever money, and that puts your bills, everything. But what do you make of it when we want to see Tank fight the other best? Do you blame him, or do you sort of go, why are you doing that? How do you sort of see this scenario now for him?
Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it, what to really say about it. I've only been asked this when it's presented to me. That's when I think about it, and I can't really come up with a good answer for it. In a lot of ways, it doesn't make sense to me. Of course, we know the size differential, and the list goes on from there. I don't know, man. I think we're entering a generation now, or a phase now where fighters, I don't know if it's fighters. I don't know if he doesn't care about the legacy, or if he feels like this fight doesn't matter. I'll get back to the legacy. I just don't know. This is truly not. It's not a legacy fight, but of course it is a generational money fight, so.
Put yourself in that position then. Shawn Porter gets offered a Jake Paul fight. You're guaranteed $30 million, or you can fight to unify a world title, but maybe get 5 max. What do you do?
I answered this question earlier, but the question that was presented to me by Radio Raheem was, if you got a chance, you're in your prime, who do you fight now? And I tell you, it's really hard for me to take myself there, because I'm really, literally where I've always wanted to be in life. I'm living the exact life that I knew I had for myself. So it's really hard for me to really say, the $30 million to box. Right now in 2025, I don't want $30 million to fight. I'll get $30 million another way. I'll get whatever God has for me another way. So, if I were in my prime now and somebody was toting that kind of money around, I don't know.
Okay, say you're not won a world title yet. You're about to fight for the world title, or that's the offer. You know yourself how you felt at that moment, wanting to become world champion, because you always get in that ring.
I can't answer this, right? So when I turned pro, it was about making money. When I turned pro, it was about just getting a better life. It wasn't really about belts. I didn't understand what the IBF title was when I won it. I didn't know who won it. I didn't. You know, I grew up doing it. I started boxing when I was 4 years old. So this is something that I just always did, and it was something that it kind of was a backup plan to college football. You know what I mean? Like that sounds ignorant, but that was my approach to boxing because I'd done it for so long. I kind of like took it for granted, I guess. Yeah. And because I had so many God-given abilities and I had a dad, like God blessed me with a dad that just was like, I understand this business and I'm not going to allow it to take advantage of you. My dad was literally shoving the business of boxing down my throat, and I was like, I don't want that. And he shoved it in my face so much that I finally picked it up and learned it before I retired. So before I have my world title, if this is thrown at me, I'd probably go for this because in my mind, this is what I came for anyway, you know?
Well, look, it's been good catching up. Tune into the Porterway podcast.
Sorry, I talk too much.
No, absolutely not. You can keep this going all night. Yeah, tune into the Porterway podcast. There's always good content on there as well, and appreciate giving us time.
I got a question. How does this stuff do over there? Because I never see it. Am I doing good over there for you guys?
Depends what you say. This one.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'll see you guys later.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
The revolutionary ankle lock system, an integrated brace built into the boots, delivering unrivaled support, protecting ligaments from twists, tears, and trauma.